All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we are diving into a rule that is so powerful, so different, it might just flip everything you've ever learned about English on its head. You know that feeling when you're trying to speak and you just feel stuck or slow? Well, this one's for you. Okay, let's get into it. So, there it is. The number one rule. I know, it sounds completely insane, right? Your entire life, you've probably been told to do the exact opposite. But what if letting go of grammar rules was the actual secret to speaking fluently and using grammar correctly without even thinking about it? Let's break this down. So, to really get why this rule is such a game changer, we first have to talk about the old way of doing things, the traditional way. For years, we've all been taught that grammar is the absolute foundation of English. But what if that's just a myth? I mean, just think back to your old English classes for a second. I am willing to bet that the main focus, day in and day out, was on grammar. It was always presented as the big secret, right? The one thing you had to master before you could ever hope to speak well. Do these terms give you a headache just looking at them? We all spent so much time trying to figure out the tiny differences between the past perfect and the present perfect progressive. It's just an endless list of these super complex ideas that we were told were absolutely vital. And it wasn't just about understanding them, It was all about memorization. It was about taking tests and filling out worksheets just to prove you knew these abstract rules. The whole process was, let's be honest, usually boring, kind of painful, and really, really frustrating. Okay. But here's the real question, the one that really matters. After all of that time, all of those years drilling grammar rules, did it work? Can you speak English easily, quickly, automatically? And if you're here with me now, I'm going to guess the answer is probably not. And there is a very, very good reason for that. So why doesn't it work? What's going on here? This brings us right to the heart of the problem. Something we'll call the speaker's dilemma. Okay, here's the absolute key. Studying grammar rules trains your brain to think about English, to analyze it like a puzzle. It doesn't train you to actually use it. So when you're trying to have a conversation, your brain is busy digging through its files for the right rule instead of just, talking. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. You've got these two totally different worlds. When you're writing, yeah, you have time. You can go slow. You can stop, look up a rule, edit yourself. But speaking, in a real conversation, there is no time. There's no pause button. It has to be fast. It has to be automatic. And that is the dilemma right there. Trying to remember grammar rules while you're talking is like trying to read a recipe during a high-speed cooking show. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. It's what makes you hesitate, what makes you freeze up, and what makes you sound unnatural. Okay, so if sitting down and studying rules is the wrong way to go for speaking, then how in the world do native English speakers learn to use grammar so perfectly without even thinking about it? Well, let's take a look at the natural way. Just think about it for a second. A 5-year-old kid from the United States or the UK has better grammar than most adult learners. Were they sitting there with textbooks? Did they study verb charts? Of course not. They just absorbed it naturally. So how do they do it? It's simple, really. They just listen. A lot. They hear correct sentences and correct phrases over and over again in real situations. Their brains are like these amazing little sponges, soaking up all the patterns automatically without ever needing to know what the past perfect progressive even is. And this quote right here, it just nails it. Most native speakers don't formally study grammar until they're much older, and even then, it's just to help them with writing essays for school. By the time they even learn what grammar is, their spoken English is already totally fluent and automatic. So what does all this mean for you? Well, let's get to the fun part, what you can actually do about this. This is your call to action and your newfound freedom. Okay. It's a super simple, powerful 3-step plan. You ready? Step 1, go find every single English grammar book you have. Put them all in a big pile. Step 2, get rid of them. Throw them in the trash. Recycle them. Heck, if you want to be dramatic, have a little bonfire. And then, step 3, celebrate. And just like that, you're free. Seriously, you are now free from all that boredom and frustration. Free from the very method that has been holding your speaking back this whole time. You officially have permission to stop doing the thing that doesn't work. Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? If you stop studying grammar rules, then what on earth are you supposed to do instead? Well, the short answer, like we saw with native speakers, is you have to focus on listening. Listening to tons and tons of natural, real English. That's how your brain learns the patterns automatically. Now, how to do that effectively? Well, that's a huge topic for our next explainer. But for today, your first and most important step is to just embrace this freedom. Stop studying the rules,